All right, Belichick's future. What are we thinking right now at 2-7?
Well, I know there's a lot of talk about, could he be let go after this Colts game or on the way home or what have you? I don't see very much chance of that happening. I mean, the Crafts are very much about public perception, and I think that, and you're already starting to hear some of it. I heard Rich Eisen this morning on his show. You're seeing, some of this on some of the national talk shows where, first of all, they think it's almost ludicrous that Bill's future is in doubt, given all that what he's done. But you get that a lot with the national people, and especially, somebody like Rich Eisen, who Bill's been really good to and with over the years. Bill gets protected by his guys. That just goes on, and that's fine. Let's just say, Nick, for shits and giggles, that, and here, let's just give a little bit of background on this. So at this point, watching this team, Nick, and I don't know how you feel about it, but, as everybody knows, I watched a lot of the Raiders the past year and a half because, I like watching the McDaniels offense. I want to see a team built, them rebuilding the Raiders. We all know what happened there. What I see at this point with this team, and I'll be very interested to see what happens against the Colts in Germany, long plane ride, all that stuff. If this was the Raiders, if this was the Matt Patricia Lions, if this was the Joe Judge Giants, this would be rock bottom would be coming up in this game.
Yep.
Because this is what I've learned from, watching all of these guys from the Patriots tree. And I respect all of them. I think highly of a lot of them. And, but what happens is, and I think that Josh and Dave Ziegler were doing a good job in terms of rebuilding the Raiders. Like, if you thought of them as a playoff team, like that's who they were before they got there, then I can't help you. But that team wasn't a playoff team. They had a negative point differential. I think the year that they made the playoffs, and they got lucky to make the playoffs. They weren't a playoff team. That team needed to be rebuilt. And in a lot of ways, I think they did a good job. Like, I think, when they played hard. But the problem with the Patriot way is, and these guys don't know any different, McDaniels, Patricia, Joe Judge, guys who, Brian Flores when he was in Miami, guys who were born into professional football here and came up here, as opposed to like Bill O'Brien, who had been other places, or Brian Daboll, who has been other places. What happens is that they demand so much of the players. Long meetings, long days at the facility, and it gets worse. When they're not playing well, it gets worse. The only thing that the Patriots people know what to do when things aren't going well is to coach the players even harder. That worked here because they won. The players could see the light at the end of the tunnel. AFC Championship games, Super Bowl victories. Tom Brady's there dealing with all of it, just like all of them. He's one of the all-time greats. That made that work. The problem is that, when the wins don't come, when the players, Josh, I think was given, first year, okay, Carr didn't make the plays. The players saw it on film. The quarterback's got to be gone. The quarterback was the issue. We were right there. How many one-score losses? So, you get the first year. But the second year, you bring in another quarterback. You bring in a couple quarterbacks. It's year two. And now nothing's changing. It's the same stuff. The quarterback's not making the plays. We're not winning games. All of a sudden, the players start, like, looking around at each other and being like, why are we working so hard at this? Like, so now we're losing, and now it's our fault even more. We're getting yelled at even more. Longer meetings. That's when the players start to tune out. And right now, Bill is in that situation. Forget about his resume. Like, a lot of these guys don't care about his resume. I mean, some do. But, you think Jack Jones and J.C. Jackson really care about his resume? So Bill's in the situation with, okay, last year didn't go well. That's fine. Sort of like McDaniel's first year in Vegas. Then you have this year. They come out, they're 2-7. Now the players, I think, are looking around being like, so what are we working so hard for? And I think they're on the precipice of you could see a lot of letting go of the rope this week against the Colts. And if that happens, Nick, I don't think Bill's going to get fired. I don't think he deserves that. I think that there would be such a negative outcry from a lot of people being like, I can't believe you did Bill that way, that the Crafts aren't going to do that. I have a very hard time seeing it. I mean, I guess you never say never, but here's my thing, Nick, and I'll wonder what you think about it. Watching this game, watching how inept they were, watching how, the third downs they're giving up on defense, all the special teams penalties, stuff that is a core to what Belichick believes in. If they bottom out against the Colts, and we're talking about a blowout loss against the Colts, they're not competitive.
FanDuel is the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Do you think Belichick gives any thought to resigning during the bye week?
I hate you.
I hate you. You hate me?
I hate you.
Were you having this thought too?
I wanted, yeah. I was gonna try to finish your sentence, but I was gonna ask you: would Belichick fall on the sword? Would Belichick look around and be like, "All right, I'm done with this shit. Like, they're not listening. I'm tired of it. I'm 70 plus years old. I want to continue to coach, but obviously it ain't working here. I know where this is going to go. Like, I'm 2-8. I see my professional death happening in New England. I'm going to take the rest of the year off. I'm going to give Gerard a shot, promote Gerard, see if Matt can get some life back. I'm done with this. This ain't good. I wouldn't be shocked. Here's what I would say about Belichick. My concern about what's going on, and this happened at the trade deadline, I think, more concern about 2023 than 2024. Mm-hmm. Everybody else outside of this bubble, and everybody that's in the front office, and you saw Jonathan Kraft and Robert Kraft's conversation in the owner's box during the game, that's got a lot of attention. Everybody knows this is now about 2024. But Bill is not going to let that happen because Bill, as the head coach, shouldn't let that happen. Mm-hmm. But if he hangs on, you see playing Marte Mapu 10 snaps on Sunday. And I know he's done wrong. Okay.
Yep.
But again, are you in it now to develop these young guys and let them learn from their mistakes during the bullets flying? Or are you more, I've got to win every game I can to catch Shula. I got to win every game I can because I want to show people that this team isn't as bad as they think, that I'm not as bad as people think. You're going to be focused on that if you're Belichick. And that means not activating Kayshon Boutte. Even if he's, having off and on practices or whatever. You play a guy at Tyquan Thornton who lasted 3 series because he's a mess. So you don't activate Boutte to give him a shot. You bench Pop earlier in the year because he fumbles on a nice hustle play by Chubb. You play Mapu 10 snaps, and you're playing him at deep safety instead of where he should be playing in the box to see if he could be a linebacker for 2024, that athletic linebacker that we've talked about. You're playing him on the deep end because you failed to replace Devin McCourty adequately. That's my concern, is that this is going to be a team that's going to be run like a team that's still trying to win every game when we know they're going nowhere right now. And instead of 2024 being the focus, 2023 is the focus. And that's going to hamper and stagnate talent. It's going to stop Mapu from getting snaps where he should be getting snaps, et cetera, et cetera. That, to me, Greg, is a bigger problem. And that's why they should have shipped Uche out. He's got no future with the team. Jacksonville reportedly offered a 5th. Take a 5th. Oh, a 5th round pick. A 5th's better than 0. Uche played 20% of the snaps this past week. He's going to play 35 when he's healthy. Put Keon White out there. Anthony Jennings is going to be a free agent. Give him the snaps. Give other guys opportunities. And that's my concern with Belichick hanging around.
To further the discussion on Belichick and, could he resign? I mean, again, the premise is that it bottoms out against the Colts. It's right. Bad. It's like right. Saints, Dallas, bad.
Yeah.
we all know Belichick is extremely smart, and most of the time he thinks down the road, and that's a long plane ride there. It's a long plane ride back. And he has to be thinking of, all right, let's play this out, war game style. Let's play out all the moves. Okay. If this continues on, we just bottomed out. We're 2-8. Like the guys, they're starting to tune me out. Okay. I'm going to be let go after the season, or we're going to mutually part ways. To me, the big thing when I think about the possibility of Belichick resigning is that, what's his mantra always been about the decisions that he makes and about how he leads the team. I do what's in the best interest of the team. Now, what's in the best interest of the team? What's in the best interest of the people that have worked for him for a very long time? The people that he brought in, who are on the coaching staff, who are on the, the support staff, like all that stuff. To me, the best thing is let me step aside and let Gerard have a chance at this. Let Gerard and Billy, take over, their sides of the ball. Gerard as head coach, whatever with Steve. Maybe it looks really good, and maybe they keep everything intact, all my people, and I'm the only one, stepping back. That's a positive. What if Bill thinks that the Crafts are getting in, an inkling to make a complete reset with a whole different direction? Is that the best thing for Gerard and Steve and Brian and Billy and, all these guys? But Bill's going to look at it and say, like, all right, look, I'm not going to be the coach here next year. I know that at this point, these guys aren't playing for any more. There's no difference between us and the Raiders and the Lions and the Giants. They're letting go of the rope. And, I think that if Bill gets up there after the bye and says, gets up in front of the media on whatever, Zoom or whatever, and says, look, I've thought long and hard about this. I've always done what's in the best interest of the team. It's obvious at this point, me leading the team is not in the best interest. It's time for somebody else, and I'm going to give them that opportunity, and I'm going to step away. I don't know whether I'm going to coach in the future. I don't know what my future is. But for right now, for the Patriots, for my players, for my coaches, the best thing is for me to step away and to invite in a new voice, and that's what I'm going to do. I think that would be, if it ended up being Belichick's last move as Patriot coach, I think it would be something that people really respected and, would go on his resume. And, instead of, what's the alternative? You're going to be, Earl Bruce with Ohio State. You're going to go down as a bitter man, fighting and fighting against it. You're going to drag the Crafts into court to uphold your contract. Like, what are you going to do here? This is your final act. And I just think, look, when you think about the totality of it all, if they get blown out on Sunday by a Colts team going nowhere with Gardner Minshew at quarterback in Germany, I think that Bill has to think long and hard about, like, all right, what's the end game for me? And do I just step aside right here and let Gerard take over and let him show what he can do?